Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins History, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Get ready to take a journey into the heart of American history, a story etched in metal, held in millions of hands, but only truly understood by a few. Today's spotlight is on a coin that celebrates one of the most significant milestones in the nation's past, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter. This is more than just 25 cents. It's a tribute to 200 years of American independence, a symbol of national pride, and for some lucky collectors, a small, round key to a potentially massive payday. So what's the story behind this quarter? And what makes it worth far more than face value? Let's dig in. The year 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. To honor this historic event, the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial designs on several coins, including the quarter dollar. Unlike the usual Washington quarters, these bicentennial quarters are easy to recognize. Instead of the usual reverse with the eagle, these coins feature a majestic image of a colonial drummer standing tall, a torch of victory surrounded by 13 stars in the background, and the words, United States of America, and quarter dollar boldly engraved. And here's where things get interesting. Look closely at the date. Instead of a single year, you'll see 1776 to 1976 stamped below George Washington's portrait on the obverse. This wasn't just a date, it was a celebration, a call back to the birth of a nation. It marked the first time in U.S. history that circulating coins carried a dual date. These quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and they came in a few different types, including some made from the standard copper-nickel clad composition and others struck in 40% silver, especially the ones from collector sets. While most people spent these coins without a second thought, some savvy collectors held onto them, especially the uncirculated and proof versions. Now, you might be thinking, I've seen a ton of these quarters in circulation. And yes, hundreds of millions were made. But not all of them are created equal. You see, the real treasure lies in the details, and the condition. Coins that have been kept untouched since the day they were minted, no scratches, no handling, no discoloration, are called mint state or proof coins. And among those, the rarest of all are coins that feature errors, such as double strikes, off-center prints, die cracks, and other unique production quirks. These unintentional mistakes turn a common coin into a true one-of-a-kind collectible. Even more valuable are the silver bicentennial quarters, especially those struck in San Francisco. Some were part of limited collector sets and never intended for circulation. If you've got one of these, especially in pristine condition or with an error, you may be holding onto something far more valuable than you realize. So how can you tell if your bicentennial quarter is special? Start by checking the mint mark. Look for a small S for San Francisco, D for Denver, or no mark for Philadelphia. Examine the edges. Silver coins have a solid white edge, while clad coins have that telltale copper line. And most importantly, assess the condition. If your coin looks like it just left the mint, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service, because here's where things get exciting. Some of these bicentennial Washington quarters, especially those struck in silver, with rare mint errors, and in ultra-high grades, have gone on to shock the auction world. While most people still treat them like spare change, a select few collectors know just how valuable these coins can be, and one such quarter, gleaming with history and preserved in exceptional condition, recently changed hands for a jaw-dropping sum. This coin, a stunning 1776 to 1976 Washington bicentennial quarter, fetched an unbelievable $168,000 at a major auction. That's right. What looks like a simple quarter dollar can be worth more than a luxury car, a college education, or even a small house. So before you toss that shiny old quarter into a vending machine or forget it in a drawer, take another look. You never know, you could be holding a rare slice of American history, one that's not just valuable in memory, but also in money. If you found this video fascinating, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more hidden coin stories, and hit the bell so you never miss a future treasure hunt. Have a bicentennial coin at home? Drop a comment below and let us know what you've discovered. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that many of us have overlooked, a coin that may have jingled in your pocket without you realizing the hidden treasure it carries. Yes, We're talking about the 1988 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that seems ordinary on the surface, but could secretly be a jackpot in disguise. Now, before you brush it off as just another 25-cent piece, let me tell you, this coin has more to offer than you think. It's part of a legacy. A legacy that started all the way back in 1932, when the United States Mint introduced the Washington quarter to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Since then, his stoic profile has appeared on every quarter, but not every year tells the same story. The 1988 quarter is one of those years that might not stand out at first glance, but once you take a closer look, you'll realize just how valuable it can become, especially if you're lucky enough to have the right version of it. Let's talk about the basics first. The obverse of the coin features George Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty above and the year 1988 at the bottom. To the left is, "In God We Trust," a powerful motto that's appeared on American coins for generations. On the reverse side, we have the iconic eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching arrows with an olive branch below, a symbol of strength and peace. These quarters were struck in three major mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were made for circulation, while the San Francisco versions were produced primarily as proofs for collectors. Now here's the exciting part. While millions of these coins were produced in 1988, only a small number were preserved in flawless condition. Others carry minting errors, which make them extremely rare and sought after. Things like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and even struck-through grease errors can turn a common quarter into a collector's dream. And then, there's the matter of grading. A coin that looks brand new, with a perfect, shiny surface and no signs of wear, can be graded as MS-65, MS-67, or even higher by professional grading services. These top-tier coins command jaw-dropping prices at auction houses and among serious collectors. Some of these 1988 quarters were struck with exceptional sharpness, others with minor yet valuable quirks. The finest examples are often found in original mint sets, tucked away and forgotten for decades, until one day, someone rediscovers them and realizes what they're truly worth. It's fascinating how something so small, so ordinary, can carry such history, and such potential value. Collectors love this coin for its clean, classic design, but what they chase are those rare combinations of mint mark, error, and condition. That's where the real money is, and just when you think you've heard it all, here comes the twist. One particular 1988 Washington quarter, in spectacular condition and carrying a rare error, took the coin collecting world by storm. It stunned bidders and collectors alike, not because it was old, not because it was made of silver or gold, but because of its pristine preservation and scarcity. That very coin, a 1988 quarter dollar, was sold at auction for an astonishing $88,000. Yes, what once may have been tossed into a parking meter, dropped in a jar, or spent on gum, ended up becoming the kind of treasure we all dream of finding. So, the next time you get change back from the store, don't rush to spend it. Look closer. You never know what rare beauty might be hiding in plain sight, a simple quarter that could change your fortune. Today, we're going to explore one such coin, the 1996 Washington quarter dollar. Yes, the same 25-cent coin that most of us have handled at one point or another. But what makes this coin so special? Why do collectors all over the world keep their eyes peeled for this specific year? And how can a coin that looks so normal possibly be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Let's take a closer look and unlock the story behind the 1996 quarter. First, let's talk design. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. His dignified profile on the obverse is one of the most recognized images in American coinage. Around him, we see the powerful words, "Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust," and the year, 1996. Flip the coin over and you'll be greeted by the majestic image of an eagle with wings spread wide, grasping a bundle of arrows with an olive branch beneath, a symbol of America's readiness for both peace and strength. The words United States of America, quarter dollar, and E pluribus unum frame this powerful image. Now here's where things get really exciting, the mint marks. In 1996, these quarters were produced at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; San Francisco, marked with an S. Proof coins. Each mint struck millions of coins, but not all coins are created equal. What sets certain 1996 quarters apart is condition, rarity, and minting errors, the secret recipe for any coin's real value. Let's talk about condition first. A coin in circulation shows wear, scratches, faded details, maybe even some discoloration. But when a coin is preserved straight from the mint, untouched by circulation, it's called mint state, and it's graded on a scale from 60 to 70. The closer it is to 70, the more valuable it becomes. A 1996 quarter graded MS 67 or higher is a rare find indeed, and then there are errors, the collector's dream. Imagine finding a 1996 quarter with a double die error, where the lettering or numbers look slightly duplicated. Or a coin struck off-center, making the image look warped. There are even cases of clipped planchets, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong metal. These rare minting mistakes transform an ordinary quarter into a unique collector's prize. Now let's not forget the proof versions. These mirror-like coins were never meant for spending. Minted in San Francisco with special dies and polished blanks, these coins are often found in collector sets. Some 1996 proof quarters, especially with high-quality preservation and cameo effects, are highly sought after. Collectors across the globe are constantly searching for that perfect 1996 quarter, the one that shines just a little brighter, or carries that rare imperfection that makes it one of a kind. What's even more fascinating is that these coins are still out there. They weren't melted down. They weren't all locked in vaults. Some are sitting in jars. Some are buried in drawers. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is in your possession right now. But here's what will truly blow your mind. One particular 1996 Washington quarter, preserved in nearly flawless condition and featuring a rare error, stunned the auction world when it sold for a jaw-dropping amount, not for a few hundred, not for a few thousand. That one single quarter sold for an incredible $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. So the next time you get change back at the store, don't toss that quarter aside. Examine it. Study it. Look for the mint mark. Look for the shine. Because what seems like a simple coin today, might be your hidden fortune tomorrow. Today, we're diving into why this particular quarter, produced over 50 years ago, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Washington quarter itself has a rich history, as it has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency since 1932. But the 1971 quarter marks a particular shift in American coinage, as it was the first year to feature a design that would remain the standard for decades. After years of redesigns and changes, the coin you see today, with George Washington's portrait on the front and a bold eagle on the back, became the familiar face of American quarters. But what makes the 1971 Washington quarter so special, and why are collectors willing to pay thousands for it? Let's start with the basics. On the obverse of the coin, you'll see the iconic profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This image, created by artist John Flanagan, has remained on the quarter since it was first minted in 1932. Around the profile, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are prominently displayed. The year 1971 is also inscribed, making this coin a true piece of history from the early 1970s, a time of change in America. Flip the coin over, and you'll find an eagle standing proud, wings outstretched, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbols of strength and peace. The words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum" appear around the eagle, while the denomination, quarter dollar, sits below it. Now, let's talk about why the 1971 Washington quarter could be worth so much more than you'd expect. While the coin was minted in large numbers, over 1.6 billion quarters, its value doesn't come from rarity alone. It comes from condition and unique features that set certain coins apart from the rest. Coins that were in circulation and use day in and day out inevitably show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and fading of details. However, some quarters were lucky enough to remain in pristine condition, untouched by the hands of time. A mint state coin is one that has remained in excellent condition, typically graded at MS 65 or higher. Coins in this grade or better can demand attention from serious collectors, and when these quarters are well preserved, their value skyrockets. But it's not just the condition that matters, it's also about finding a coin that stands out from the rest, one that has unique characteristics that make it truly one of a kind. Minting errors are one of the key features that can increase the value of a 1971 Washington quarter. These coins may feature off-center strikes, doubled lettering, or misaligned designs, all signs that something went wrong during the production process. But for collectors, errors like these are pure gold. A coin with an unusual error can often fetch far more than a standard, flawless one. In addition to minting errors, some 1971 Washington quarters were struck at specific mints with unique characteristics. The Philadelphia Mint produced the bulk of the coins that year, and they are typically more common. However, a small percentage of these coins were struck at the Denver Mint and carry the D mint mark. These coins can sometimes have slightly different characteristics that make them more desirable, especially when they're in excellent condition, but perhaps the most exciting part of collecting these coins is discovering a proof coin. Proof coins are special editions that were made for collectors, often struck twice with specially polished dies, resulting in an extra shiny finish. While most proof coins from the 1970s were produced in limited numbers, the ones that have survived in mint condition are highly sought after by serious collectors. So what does all of this mean in terms of value? For a 1971 Washington quarter, if it's in mint condition, especially if it has rare minting errors, unique features, or is a proof coin, the value can jump significantly. And now, for the big reveal, a 1971 Washington quarter, in flawless condition or with a rare error, has been known to sell for an astonishing $86,000. Yes, that's right, $86,000 for a single coin. A coin that most people would consider just another piece of pocket change could be worth an incredible amount of money if you know where to look and how to preserve it. So the next time you receive a quarter in your change, take a closer look. It may not be just any quarter, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Whether it's from 1971 or another rare year, coins like these are hiding in plain sight, and you never know when you might come across one that's worth far more than you ever imagined. Take the 1972 Washington quarter dollar, for example. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter from the early 70s. But this particular coin has proven to be a true treasure for those who know what to look for. From its design to its history, the 1972 Washington quarter is not just a piece of U.S. currency, it's a rare find that could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's dive into why this coin is so special and how it could potentially bring in a small fortune. Let's start by talking about the basics of the 1972 Washington quarter. Minted in large quantities, the coin follows the traditional design of the Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. On the obverse, we have the familiar image of George Washington, the first president of the United States, facing to the left. This design, originally created by artist John Flanagan, has been the hallmark of the Washington quarter for decades, representing the nation's leadership and strength. Flip the coin over, and on the reverse side, you'll find an eagle perched proudly, its wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, a symbol of the balance between strength and peace. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, reminding us of the unity of the nation. Below the eagle, the words, quarter dollar, make it clear that this is, indeed, a quarter, but as you'll soon learn, its value could be far higher than just 25 cents. What makes the 1972 Washington quarter stand out from the rest? The answer lies in its condition and rarity. While millions of these quarters were minted, most of them were circulated and show signs of wear. That's why collectors are particularly interested in those that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins in perfect shape are much rarer than you might think, and they hold tremendous value in the world of coin collecting. It's also important to note that certain quarters from 1972 contain minting errors, which make them even more valuable. These errors can take many forms, from off-center strikes to doubling in the lettering or date. A Washington quarter with one of these errors could be worth much more than a regular coin in perfect condition. The reason behind this is that these errors are unique and not typically found in other coins, making them highly desirable for collectors. the Washington quarter dollar of 1972 was minted at several U.S. mints, including the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, with some coins bearing a distinctive mint mark. The presence of the mint mark can affect the coin's rarity and value, especially when coins from one mint are rarer than those from another. In the case of the 1972 Washington quarter, some mint marks are more sought after by collectors, particularly if they are in mint condition. Another factor that adds to the value of the 1972 Washington quarter is the proof coins. These special coins were created for collectors and are struck with high-quality dies to produce a mirror-like finish. Proof coins are more than just functional currency, they're works of art, and their value increases due to their limited mintage and exceptional quality. If you happen to find a 1972 Washington quarter that's a proof coin, you could be looking at a much higher price than a typical coin from that year. But now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much could a 1972 Washington quarter really be worth? If you happen to own one of these quarters in unblemished, mint condition, or if it features a rare minting error or unique characteristic, its value can be astounding. We're talking about a coin that, in the right condition, could fetch up to $84,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $84,000. For a single quarter. That's the value of a well-preserved 1972 Washington quarter with the right features. So, the next time you come across a 1972 quarter, take a moment to inspect it closely. You could be holding onto a rare and valuable piece of American history that could make you a substantial amount of money. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and it's not just about old, rare coins from centuries ago. Coins like the 1972 Washington quarter remind us that valuable finds can be closer than we think. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 Washington quarter, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating insights into the world of rare coins. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next great discovery could be just one coin away.